So moving on, now that I'm on the website, if you want to know more about what you can do with the application and in particular with Python, pretty much in every one of the apps, you have at the top right a documentation with a Python icon. Might be later on a more general documentation, but at the moment it's a book that it's focused on how to use the application to communicate, and get information from Alana through Python and then back to Alana with Python. And so this is an online book. Let me put it in. You can change the mode from light to dark. You have the explanation of what is Alana briefly, an explanation what are the APIs. And here you have a brief explanation of a different type of APIs that you can use and how you can communicate with the application. And you have a bit of a more detailed documentation of how to authenticate, the methods, the general methods for the data source class in this particular case. So just to be clear, there are different areas of Alana that you may want to access. The data source is pretty much a production data, well deviation service, well logs, and so on. And then you have decline curve analysis, well types, field development planning, economics, and forecasting. So all that, ideally, you should be able to access through the APIs. So if I go into a data source, for instance, and you want to create a new well, so you have a create well master, and it tells you these are the properties that you need to send: the name of a well, what are the formations that are associated to that well, the field, and so on, a well type, and what is the status of a well. And with that dictionary on Python, once you are already logged in, you can create your new well. And once you create your new well, the new well will already appear on the front end on the website. And there are quite a few things that we can do. Once you have the wells in the database in Alana, you can get the wells, well information such as latitude, longitude, or UTM, and so on. Edit the well. You can create formations, get formations, delete formations, etc. Create fields, create daily production, upload daily production, monthly production, and so on. And there is a general function called import data source that allows you to almost load the data in a more tabular way with a CSV file. This is something that we will learn through as we move forward with the application. If you are still in doubt of how to work with Jupyter, there is a bit of information on how to use with Jupyter. And for instance, if you are really starting with Python, also there are some notebooks here explaining how to work with Python, the basic syntax, how to declare variables, the type of variables, and so on. What are dictionaries, controls, etc. So, and after you have covered all that, you have the exercises themselves. So in the case of, for instance, to access a data source, we have this example here, exploratory data analysis. This is an example of first how to authenticate with Alana, fetch some data, and then we are fetching already some data that is on the database. It's the same data that you will see on the website, but now you are able to see it through the APIs. And of course, having the power of Python, then you can combine and be really creative and do anything that you really want with that data. The idea is that we get data from Alana, we do some analysis, and then we store back into Alana for a future comparison of what you have done, because ideally, you may have a bunch of notebooks, but you really want to have a place where you can store the information. So that's why we are creating Alana. There are other exercises that I'm not going to go into the details, but another feature of this notebook or this documentation is that on the right-hand side, you can navigate quickly through the different sections of a notebook. And it's quite intuitive because if I go, for instance, this is an exercise that we will do later on in the sessions, but you have here how to import the fundamental libraries, how to import the Alana Pi libraries, provide authentication, and get information from Alana. So all is already split into the different chapters on the left-hand side, and then sections on the right-hand side. If you want to use this notebook, you can go here into this icon and then download it as a PDF, for instance. Let me see. I don't know why it goes into the printing, but you can download it. Oh, it says print, but you can also open it in Colab. I haven't tried this one actually. Let me see if that works. I probably have to, have to log in and authorize with GitHub and all that. But that's fine. You will have to do that with your account, or you can download it directly here. And then once it's downloaded, you'll have it in your PC. There we go. Here we go. I can come here and edit the file, run it, and so on.